Everything that you see here, all this area is cow manure compost. It is 5 years old, and wild grass is growing on top. This cow manure, after 5 years, it is, especially the top layer, is just like a dark soil. In this garden I am using a lot of cow manure, both well composted cow manure as well as fresh cow manure that was collected over the winter time. This place is a cow sanctuary, and the cows are protected throughout their whole life, as well as bulls, and they are eating clean grass, clean food, so they are not being injected with any hormones or steroids, whatever they are using in modern farming. So the manure is very clean and very good quality. So for example, here are some plants that I grow in well composted 5 years old compost of cow manure. The plants are growing very well. Some plants like this type of soil and some plants don't like. So for example, salad leaves grow very well. To start them just from the seed in the cow manure, as well as radishes. These ones I just let to grow fully, and others are harvested. In this bed I was trying to grow some beet roots. You can see that some of the beet roots are growing quite well. It is now beginning of June, so that's quite large size for a beetroot at the present moment. Of course, it's not the best. Some plants grow better. For example, here was arugula plants, which are very nice edible plants, just like salad leaves. It's very delicious, and it was growing, or it's growing very, very well. Then, for example, here what we have, peas. Peas are growing very well in a cow manure, well composted cow manure. It's very good for peas, they grow very well as cucumbers. Basically all the plants like cucumbers, pumpkins, squashes, these plants will certainly grow incredibly well in such a soil. So the cucumbers are now flowering, and they're looking very healthy. And for example, here is a peppermint. All the soil that you see here, which is not being used for growing, it is covered with a fresh cow manure, and afterwards it is covered with a layer of straw. Because the cow manure is quite fresh, so most plants will not grow there because it's quite strong. Whereas, but still there are some plants like the peppermint here, you can see that it is growing everywhere. It doesn't mind to grow in a fresh cow manure. And on the surroundings of the garden there are different pumpkins and squashes that are being planted in a pile of fresh cow manure, and I'm using well rotted cow manure just a little bit there in the center where where I'm planting the plant. The pumpkins are growing quite well, but it was a little bit late that I transplanted them from the pots, so it might have reduced the growth of them. But now they are starting to grow nicely. And for example, here you can see this is a well-rotted cow manure, and it's mostly radishes growing here and lettuce. There is a large amount of snails in this area, so it is quite difficult, but I did manage some lettuces to grow them nicely. I come here rarely, but if you would go such place in the mornings and collect the snails, it wouldn't be a big deal. So this bed used to be full with salads, and now I am taking out the salads and instead I'm planting tomatoes. So for example, here is a huge salad as well. These salads are growing very nicely, and this bed is just old composted cow manure, and I haven't worked up on the weeds so well, so you see some weeds. But as you saw in maybe previous videos, there was so many salads here everywhere. And the tomatoes grow well. The radishes, salads, at least that's what worked for me here. I didn't experiment with so many plants, and many plants, like for example coriander, I would plant, but the snails would completely eat them very fast. And in this bed there are potatoes. It is cow manure mixed with soil, but in this bed it's more soil, especially where is the potatoes. And as you can see here, little radishes, they are growing very well. It's very beautiful looking radishes, and they can grow very large. Dill is growing, but I think it's not the best for dill or for beetroots, but radishes and salads, peppermint, green peas, cucumbers, tomatoes, squashes, pumpkins, these plants are doing very well in cow manure. Here is a garden that is completely made of fresh cow manure that has been collected over the winter time, then put into long piles, and in the places where the plants are planted, they did put some well-rotten compost of cow manure. So the growth of plants like pumpkins and squashes is very nice, and the plants grow very well.